It's okay.
No,
But you'll be all right. Now you have the 6 months.
Well, to see the surgeon and then through and then come out the cross.
Morning. Are we okay?
Yeah.
Shall we make a start?
Yeah.
So my name's Lisa. I'm from Calderdale Dementia Hub. There looks to be a couple of familiar faces here. I know I have been here before, so I may have met some of you before, but Catherine's invited me here today to do one of our brain gyms. So this is my favourite thing to do. The point of the brain gym, let me just tell you about Calderdale Dementia Hub first of all. I'm from the Dementia Hub. We are a support and information service for anybody in Calderdale that is affected by a diagnosis of dementia. That's not just a person with the diagnosis, that includes families, friends, carers, even neighbours in some cases. We can support anybody that is affected. I just wanted to get that one out of the way. That's kind of important. That's what I do. But yes, today's brain gym. And the point of brain gym is to keep those parts of the brain that are still healthy, keep them healthy. It's literally exercise, positive exercise for the brain. It can, in some cases, it can help to prevent dementia.
Can you manage it? Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem.
Can't sleep, so you're sleeping, don't you?
Yes, so brain gym. What it does is it develops new pathways and new neurons in the brain. And if you're able to keep those parts of the brain healthy, that is brilliant. And it can, in some cases, it's possible to help in the prevention or certainly in reducing your risk of dementia. So that's what this is about. It's about reducing your risk. And that's one of the things that brain gym can help with. So there's no real physical exercise involved other than with your hands and your arms and absolutely your brain. I appreciate that for some people, what we're going to do this morning physically might be a little difficult. If you've got stiff fingers, arthritic fingers, arms, joints, some of what we're doing might prove a little difficult, and I don't want anybody to hurt themselves. So if you find that you're struggling and it's painful physically, please stop. However, mentally, if you're struggling, do not stop. This is quite challenging. What you're literally doing is you're asking your brain to do things that it hasn't really done before, or certainly we don't ask it to do this on a daily basis. The benefit is in trying. The benefit is in creating those new neurons, and it's only by giving it a go that will happen. So when you're struggling and when you're thinking, I can't do this, good. That's good. That's what we want. Trying it is the only way that we will get those new neurons built. So we'll make a start. Right. We'll just take just a few seconds. Let's just picture our brain. We've got two sides to the brain. The right side is where it's about the creativity, it's about storytelling. The left side is far more about logic and working things out. And it's not very often we use both of them at the same time, which is what we're going to do this morning. So if you just take a second, I want you to put a line right down the centre of your brain and just think about those two separate sides. Right side is all about creativity, left side is more about the logic. Okay, so I'm just going to warm up first of all. So if we can just stretch out a little bit. You've still got a cuppa in your hand, but we'll just stretch out. We're just going to get warm. I want you to warm up your fingers, your hands, and the joints. All right, maybe just rub them together. Rub your hands. Get the blood flowing a little bit. Get the cardigan off. I'm going to get too warm. Right, Okay. So we're just going to start first of all, just going to mark from the bottom. Yes. Just about getting the blood flowing, getting the concentration into it. Ooh, they're going quite fast up there. Sorry. No, that's fine. You do whatever's comfortable. Okay, all right. So we're just going to start with just a few simple ones first of all. I just want you to get your brains into gear. So we're just going to start clapping and putting hands. It's a very simple clap. Right. We're going to cross over and clap. Cross your hands over so your hands are going to the opposite side of you. Right. Okay, so let's cross over the other side. So whatever you were doing the first place, yeah, and sometimes you need to think about it. That's great. Everybody's got into rhythm of that. That's great. Okay, so next, what we're going to do is we're going to lift one leg. Doesn't matter which leg, but I also want you to lift the opposite hand. So you just lift it up a little bit. But what I want you to do is when you're bringing them down, I want you to bring your foot and your hand down to your knee at the exact precise time. So this is about focus. So it's really simple, but you do have to concentrate because you're just going to lift the leg and your opposite hand up. But I want you to touch down. Needs to be quite precise. If you get them to line up perfectly, hands and feet touch down same time. Okay, feel like everybody's got the hang of that. That seems to be okay. Good. Right. This next one, I'm pretty certain everybody will be familiar with. And most people can do this because there is already a pathway in your brain. Most people have done this as kids. And it's very simple. We're going to rub our tummy. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a really good example of most people can easily do this because you've done it as kids. So that pathway is already present in the brain. So let's just swap over. And it's kind of interesting, isn't it? Because sometimes then you start to think your brain's like, you want me to do what? Even though we're still on the easy section. But yeah, great. So that's a really good example. Right. So let's just kind of zuzz that up a little bit. So we're going to continue to do this. But what we're going to do is we're going to bring another element in and we're going to tap our feet at the same time. So it's patting your head, rubbing your tummy, but you can just tap both feet at the same time. Oops. Just bringing another element in. So let's swap over, but instead of both feet tapping, can we tap one at a time? And now we really have to concentrate, don't we? Because you're actually asking your brain to do quite a few different tasks at the same time. Even I'm struggling with this one. Brilliant. It looks like everybody's kind of getting into the swing of that. Fantastic. Okay. Right. So if you need to kind of just stretch your hands or your joints at any time, please do. Just because as we go along, your fingers will probably start, your wrists might start to ache. So we're going to do finger spirals. So again, this is about concentration and focus. So fairly simple. All we're going to do is if we start with fairly tight spirals, we're going to make the spiral bigger and we're going to bring it apart. So as you bring your hands further apart, I want the spirals to get bigger, but try and make them quite precise. I want both circles to be the same size, or as precise as you can get them. Let's start to bring them back together. So as you're bringing your fingers back together, the spirals are getting smaller. Try and keep the circles the same size. And now do it in the opposite direction of what you were doing before. But the same, so pull your fingers apart, further apart, but try and keep your circles the same size. Circles should be getting bigger because you're going further apart. And then bring them back together.
No. Should have been part of the group.
Okay, so that then your spirals are now quite small. Your fingers should kind of be coming together now. Brilliant. If you need to shake it out a little bit, do. Right. So what we're going to do now, we're going to draw some figure of 8. So both hands, just imagine your fingers are pencils. Number 8. It can be as big or as small as you like. Show number 8.
Yeah.
Okay, opposite direction.
Yeah, we've been sensitive.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
And that will
Right. Okay, so we were doing both of those number 8s in the same direction. Now what we're going to do is draw them kind of separately. So whereas both fingers were going in the same direction before, if you start in the centre of the number 8, we're going to go, it's quite difficult to explain, but you're drawing your number 8 separately rather than both together. Great, I think everybody's got it. Right, let's lay those number 8s now on the side. So whilst we were drawing number 8 facing upwards like that, we're going to drop that 8 that way, that 8 that way, and we're just going to do number 8 like this for the infinity sign. Feels like we should have really nice music on the go here. And just the opposite direction. So, hang on, I've lost it. That's it. And losing it and getting confused is good. That's exactly what we want. All right. So, if you need to stretch your arms, do. If you need to shake your hands, do. Whatever you need to do at this point. Right. Okay. So I like to call this one the Mr. Burns. So what we're going to do is, if you can get all of your fingers precisely to touch right at the ends of your fingers, all of them. And we're going to bring them apart just a little bit at first and bring them together very gently, but I want you to try and get it as precise as you can. And each time you bring your fingers apart, away from each other, you just get a little further away. Bring them back together as precise as you can. And just as you begin to think, well, this one's a bit of a doddle, I want you to close your eyes and try and bring your fingers back together precisely. And you can start to make the gap a little bit smaller each time. Okay, all right. How did you find that one? I kind of like that one because it starts off very easy, but when you close your eyes, it just takes on a little bit. It just, you really do have to start to concentrate and think about it. Okay, so, right, so this one, we're going to do, we're just going to go down the fingers, so fingers to thumb ends. Then on to the next finger, next, and the next, and then go back up, fingers. I want you to just try and build up a little bit of speed. Once your brains accept what you're asking of it, you're going to start to try and build up a little bit of speed. You can see everybody's kind of got the hang of that. We'll shake this one up a little bit now as well. So, whereas with this one, we're going forefinger to thumb, and you're going to do just like you did with the other. However, at the same time, with the other hand, I'm going to start with a little finger, and you're going to go in the opposite direction. Is that clear? Does everybody understand what we're asking? So with this hand, you were going to start with your forefinger and your thumb, and it's like you're going in this direction. So you're working down the hand like that. With the other hand, you start with your little finger, and you work your way in the opposite direction towards your forefinger. Both at the same time. Yeah. So take your time, because you are going to need to think and concentrate about this. This is not easy the first few times you do it. This is what I mean when I say we're going to ask your brain to do things you do not normally ask it to do.
It's not happy.
No, it won't be happy. We've hardly started yet. It does take a great deal of concentrating, and sometimes you think you've got it and you suddenly look and you think, hang on, that's both fingers when it should be the opposite.
Then you've got to finger left over.
Yeah. Then what do you do? And the idea of this is you would build, you know, if you wanted to practice it, you're trying to build the speed up. But it is that opposite action that gets your brain muddled and upset with. Yeah. Yes. I can see the look of concentration that are going on is absolutely brilliant.
Like you've played the piano.
Yeah, great. And if you've done that kind of thing before, it won't be quite as much of a challenge, because those pathways. Yeah. But if you're not very musical, you know, I'm not, so it's all new, and your brain won't know what's going on. Okay, so what we're going to do with this one, if you have a go, so it's quite simple. So all we're doing is your forefinger, and you're going to just circle the pad of your thumb. So we're just kind of rubbing your forefinger and your thumb together, little circle, that's all. Okay, stop. With the other hand, we're just going to continue like we were doing before. You're going to go up and down at your own speed, but you're going to go up and down with that hand.
Can you do one hand and I'll do this?
Yeah,
that's cheating. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to have a go at, we're going to rub with one hand, and at the same time, with the other hand, we're going to have a go at going up and down fingers like that. Again, it's not easy, and it takes a lot of concentration. And just when you've got used to it, and your brain's just becoming accustomed to that, we swap over and ask the other hand to make the circle, and this hand to do just that touching. It becomes a whole other ball game. It's quite difficult. I find that my hands just want to revert back to what they were doing in the first place. How does that feel?
Just when you think you've got it,
yeah,
just when you think you've got it,
yeah.
you look and you're not doing it.
Yes, it's quite a challenge, and because you're not used to it, your brain doesn't want to do it. But we're gonna push through. We're gonna make it do it. Okay. Okay, so another one that's kind of similar to that, just a slightly different. If you need to stretch, please do. So we're going to continue with the just rubbing the pad of your thumb like that. Straightforward, hands down. With this one, we're going to kind of just like a bird beak, and we're going to go across. We're just cutting across in a repetitive action. Okay, so we're going to try them both together. So. keep doing this.
Would you really laugh about it?
Yeah. Okay, let's swap over. Let's try it the other way around. See how that works. So we're doing a circle with the other hand and with the opposite hand if we can. We're going to try the bird beak thing. This is quite challenging.
It's always easier with one.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, one hand will do as it's told and the other one.
I mean, one way.
Oh yeah, usually the first way, yeah, it's when you swap over. You do? You're right. Okay, all right, well done. Very, very good. Right, this one is actually my favourite. I like this one. Right, so what we're going to do first of all is just touch finger quite lightly to the end of your nose. Okay, no problem. Hands down. So with one hand, if you want to just go, you need to go across the body, and we're going to grab your earlobe. It actually helps if you give your earlobe a little tweak. Give it a little press or a little tweak. And then if you can put your finger on the end of your nose, and then we're going to swap. Yeah, I know. And this is why it helps to tweak your earlobe. It kind of just gives your brain a little, if you really tweak your earlobe, it helps. It doesn't necessarily make it any easier. It's quite a challenge. Yeah, you do get lost. It takes a lot of concentrating. And again, the idea is that you would be able to build up a little bit of speed doing this. You need to get your brain to understand the messages first. If I see somebody in the corner here not doing any of the exercise.
And it's easier to concentrate on my finger rather than my ear.
Yeah.
Just left, right.
Yeah. Yeah. So I quite like that one. I think that was quite good fun. That was my favourite. Right. We'll just give our brains a little. We'll give our hands a rest for a second, and we'll do a little brain challenge. I'm not going to give the brain a rest. I just want you to kind of shout out really. I will do it in a minute. Have you got a phone? Can you just put 1 minute on the stopwatch or whatever? Give me as many names beginning with a. Are we ready to go?
Yep.
Give me as many names beginning with the letter A as you can. Just shout them out.
Angela, Alison, Alan, Audrey, Annabelle, Alexandra,
Brilliant. Any more?
Apple,
Alexander.
Alex,
Audrey. Brilliant.
Argentina.
Antoinette,
Yeah.
Anthony, Adam, Alan.
Agriculture.
Okay, that were interesting because we kind of started out most with girls' names there, but you did eventually. Are we done a minute?
44 seconds.
Wow. Okay. Make that do. Okay, that's brilliant. Thank you. Can we recalibrate? Can we restart? Just give me as many words as you can think of that relate to spring.
Daffodils,
Snowdrops.
flowers,
Daffodils.
rain,
Wooden enemy. Grass cutting.
Yeah.
forsythia,
Yeah.
pollen,
Frost.
Yeah.
Primrose.
fairs,
Lambs.
spring cleaning, fairs, tulips.
Brilliant. Okay, that's excellent. Right. So that was just a little rest, a little pit stop for our hands and our joints. I just wanted to keep your brains ticking over. Okay, so let's draw. First of all, I'm going to draw your finger is a pencil, and we're just going to draw small circles, quite small, nice and tight.
Yeah.
Hands down. The opposite hand, we're going to do quite a big circle. Much bigger than the other one. All right. So, we're going to do both together. One hand is going to do the small one, one is going to do the big one. No matter which direction you're going. But if we can try and reach the top of the circle at the same time. Again, this is about this is kind of concentrating, focusing. One hand is doing a much bigger circle than the other. And try and meet it at the top at the same time. Can we do it in the opposite direction now? One small, one big. It needs to be different sizes. Is it making you out? Okay, okay, brilliant. We'll make that do for now. Yeah. Need to have a little shake, a little stretch, whatever you need to do. All right, keep your hands feeling quite good. Right, next one. So, what we're going to do, one hand is the face, and the other hand is going on top.
Oh,
Yeah, this one's not too difficult. One hand is the face, and the other one's nice and flat, and it's just going on top. Everybody's got used to that. But it's at the bottom as well, so you're going top and bottom.
no, difficult.
Yeah, because to start with, it's really easy.
Yeah.
If you kind of top and bottom, face, top, bottom.
Confusing.
Okay. Brilliant. Right, shall we move on to the difficult section?
Oh, thank you.
Right, again, so if your hands are really starting to ache or joints or whatever, please be very careful, you don't have to do this. But this is the more challenging section. Not physically, but mentally. So, let's start with a victory V. Everybody okay with that? All right, hands down. Okay, an okay sign, as best you can. If you struggle with that, it'll be all right to do that as long as you're doing an opposite action to what this hand is doing. So, okay, victory V. Right. Let's swap over. So, the hand that was an okay is going to become a victory V. The hand that was a victory V is going to become the okay. And I want you to just keep trying to swap over. And it takes some concentrating on. So you're just kind of swapping over. And your brain will not agree with what you're telling it to do. But again, this is where just trying it is where the benefit is.
Can you just hold it there?
Yes, I can.
That's it.
That's it. Now, yes. So that's brilliant. But what you need to do is swap over. So that hand now needs to become the victory V. That one needs to become the okay sign. Now swap over again. So it's quite a challenge, and you really need to concentrate on that one. And the truth is that sometimes your hands begin to ache before your brain, so you kind of need to practice. Right. Okay, so next one. There's not many in the difficult section, but we've still got a few more to go. So, thumbs up, hands down. Nice salute. So, can we do both at the same time? Flipping over. So, one hand salute. Okay. And sometimes you think, great, I've got it, and then all of a sudden your brain just trips you up. And the thing is, you know, if you can practice these absolutely anywhere. If you were in a cafe or on the boat, you know, you'd be absolutely fine. Anywhere. Right. Okay. So these next few can get a bit challenging. So we're going to draw a circle. If you want it to be physical exercise, you could draw a nice big circle. It doesn't matter if you just want it. If your arms are aching, just keep it nice and small. Okay. Hands down. With the other hand, we're going to draw a figure of 8. Like 8. No problem. All right. Are you ready? Both together. 0 and a number 8 at the same time. Look, concentration. And I'm not sure that everybody has got it yet, but if you feel settled in that pattern and the brain's accepted, if you try to do it the opposite way around again, you're really kind of throwing another spanner in the works, and it's just, you know. So that one's just, so that's a 0. If you know, if you did want to practice these at home, that's a 0 and a number 8 at the same time. Okay. This one's very similar, but I find this one a little bit more challenging because there are angles involved. So we'll draw a triangle. Okay, no problem. Hands down. With the other hand, if we draw a square. Right? We're ready. Both together. One triangle and one square. It can be quite little if your arms are aching. It doesn't matter, but if you can try and concentrate on the same shape. And again, if you find that your brain has settled on that pattern, to swap them over, again, becomes quite difficult. If you did want to practice this kind of thing at home and you find that it's a bit too much, your arms are aching, you could do it with a pen on a piece of paper. It's the same thing, and it's not quite physical, but it's quite challenging, isn't it? I find the one with the angle, the triangle and the square.
It's an extra side, so
Yeah,
you can
that's right.
Yes.
yeah. Counting as well.
Yeah. So you can't get settled into that pattern, can you? You've got
the
to.
same side.
Yeah.
The first 3 are okay, and then your rhythm goes. So
Yeah.
one's going one way, one's going the other way.
Okay, so the next one. So a victory V. No problem, hands down. And then this one, we call this exercise shoot the rabbit. So this is going to be like almost like in the shape of a gun, or letter L or something. And what we're going to do is, so if we imagine that this is a little bunny rabbit, we're going to shoot the rabbit. So we swap over.
Yeah.
Very. So it's just swapping over. Completely losing it myself now. can see somebody's completely stuck over there.
I know rabbits are cheap.
But yeah,
ammunition in my job.
so it's quite challenging. It's not easy, but the more you practice, you know, the easier it becomes. Okay, so we're going to finish with one. I call this one crank the wheel. So when I tried to get the team in the office, because I always try these out in the office, and nobody could do it. It felt almost impossible. There is a solution to it. However, I keep saying, oh, this one's the most difficult, and then there's always somebody in the room that can do it easily. So to begin with, this one can be extremely difficult. So what we're going to do is, if we imagine that we are cranking a wheel or we're turning a wheel, so first of all, we're bringing the wheel towards us. If you imagine you've got a wheel with a handle on it, you're going to bring it towards you. That's the action. Full circle, but you're bringing it towards you. Okay, all right. So, hands down. With the opposite hand, the same kind of action, but we're going away. We're moving it away from your body. In a kind of an outwards direction. All right. So we're going to try and do both of those actions together. So one hand is coming in towards your body, and at the same time it's going out. One is going out. That opposite direction.
Now, there is going the same way eventually.
Well, they shouldn't be.
No.
They shouldn't be.
Well, if you're doing that and doing that.
Yeah. So there is a solution. There's a way to do it quite easily, and I've already spotted 2 people in the room temporarily doing it correctly, but they got a little lost. So if you start this exercise, as we imagine it, we're at the top of the wheel, and we set off both hands at the same time. One is going outwards, and one is coming in, and they meet back up again. It's a little easier to do it like this. So if you just imagine both wheels, that one's going that way, this one's coming towards your body.
Yeah. No, crank a wheel like that anyway.
Yeah.
What would you do? Turn a wheel?
Turn a wheel like that.
That's for the purposes of brain gym, that's cheating. So that's the one that in our office we all found it virtually impossible to do. I didn't do it for ages until I discovered that there's a bit of secret. And I always say this, and then I look around the room and there's somebody quite happily just doing it. It's certainly not impossible, it's just that some people can do it.
Is it like a push and a pull?
I suppose so, but it's important that you do the circle.
So I'm pulling and
Yes.
pushing at the same time.
Yes, yeah. You might want to describe it as that, but it's just important that you've got a circle in there, because that's where it gets difficult. But yeah, pushing and pulling is probably a good description. Might try that next time. Right, brilliant. You've all done extremely well. I've got no badges for you. But you've all been brilliant sports. Just to kind of say that part of what this is about neuroplasticity. So, like I said, it's about creating those new pathways in the brain. It keeps the brain nice and healthy. Very, very good for you. If when you get home you can remember what we've done, which again is part of the problem, because you'll get home and you'll think, that woman had us doing, and nobody can ever remember. Now, I have brought a few little leaflets. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, I believe I brought 10. So there are just some examples here, and there's only 1 or 2. But if you just kind of think about the principles of this, this one is a sort of, we haven't exactly done this one today, but it's that opposite principle. So this one is going up and down and drawing a spiral at the same time, and that one is drawing a triangle and an up and down at the same time, and that one is the OK and the victory V. And like I said before, if you did want to practice at home, anything like drawing a number 1 and a number 2, draw A and B, draw a circle and a triangle, anything that's opposite. But these are just to kind of remind you. All right, if you might well go straight forward and put them in the bin and think, I am never ever doing that again. But no, you can't see them. No, okay, no problem. Thank you.
I'll share with you.
Yeah. There's just kind of examples that get your brain thinking about what you could be doing. We'll give you.
Could put it on our book, put them what.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's a video. All right, we can share that as well, can we? Yeah. So, yeah, we could put it on one different groups and things. But the video actually would be a really good reminder.
Yeah, because most people, they're all on there, aren't they?
Each day, really, couldn't you?
Yeah. Yeah, you've got me bellowing in your ear all.
But I think it'd be good for kids as well. I think the younger you start, the better. You know, 'cause like when we were little, we play these games, you know, like you say, and all of it. Yeah, and they don't tend to as much nowadays. They tend to.
Good for party games, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't remember.
No,
All the others.
Yeah. I don't think sometimes, I think they might do them in classrooms and to get kids back to concentrate. Do you know if they get a little unruly or whatever, getting them back to focus?
yeah.
Because it does bring you, you know,
Oh, yeah.
helps you to concentrate and focus. I think that is.
Well, like you say about the piano, if you learn how to play the piano and things like that, that all helps.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Dance,
Yeah.
choreo. Yeah.
You
You learn that
Yeah.
as well, and all those things.
Yeah, definitely. Learning new things is absolutely brilliant for the brain. That's all part of it, definitely.
Yeah.
And you've done it.
Ginger Rogers said that Fred Astaire, who got all the praise. Yes, she said, I do all the same steps in high heels, but backwards.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right.
Do you do these classes sort of on a regular basis for the year or?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not anyway. It just if somebody just as you've done today, if you just ask me to come along, yeah, we do them. You know, they're becoming fairly popular.
Yeah.
I think as one or two people come, they want me to come along to their group to do it, or you know. So I have started doing quite a few. And there is somebody else, Jo, who does, her background is gymnastics, and she does it all to music and everything. You know, she does a brilliant job.
We
go to her class.
Yeah. Oh, you know, Jo. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just.
So there's some similarity in the
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think the other benefit is doing it as a group. You get that social interaction as well.
Definitely.
Prevent the isolation, which is another factor in this. Yeah, you mentioned.
Yeah, absolutely.
Calderdale, we cover Bradford. So.
I only do Calderdale, but have you got a BD postcode?
Yeah. Well, I live at Whitsley, but I'm also involved with Harrow Park as well, which is well more but Bradford.
Okay.
And they have community coffee mornings as well down there.
Yeah. It would be Bradford Dementia to do that. We do have to stick to our own area, even though that's not very far from here, is it?
No.
Perhaps you could do it, John.
Maybe I think they do along with
Yeah.
Is that okay? Any questions? Anybody got anything? Questions or anything you want to tell me?
I don't know which side to use to ask a question.
It's the middle bit.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. All right.
So we will get you back again, won't we? Yes.
I'll post a new one. I don't have you resting on your laurels. We'll do all that now.
It's also with